What is going on, everyone? This is my new favorite shirt. In case you haven't noticed, I've been wearing this shirt a lot and I just really like it. But today I am reviewing John Wick because John Wick Chapter 2 does come out this weekend and I have to review the first one before I talk about the second one. And John Wick stars Keanu Reeves, who plays John Wick, who is an ex-hitman who decides to come out of retirement because some gangsters decide to do some things to John Wick's life and messes him up, and yeah, things happen in the beginning of this movie that made me kind of upset, but John Wick decides to come out of retirement and kick all their asses. And what John Wick basically is this amazing action movie, and that's all it really had to be in order to be actually pretty good. I remember first seeing this trailer back in 2014 and I was thinking to myself, it looks okay, it's Keanu Reeves, he's not the greatest actor that I know to this day, it just looks fine. But after I watched the movie back a couple years ago, I was thinking to myself, I highly underestimated this movie. John Wick is a very good movie. Well, first of all, Keanu Reeves in this movie is extremely good. I do think it's actually his best performance that I've ever personally seen from him. I did watch The Matrix a few days ago, and after watching that movie again, I thought to myself, well, there's a lot of really bad dialogue in this movie, specifically from Keanu Reeves. I mean, the movie is a really good movie overall, but there are some dialogue parts in that movie where Keanu Reeves starts talking, and I'm just thinking to myself, oh my god, that's horrible. But in John Wick, I feel like every single line that he spits out is great. And that's why Keanu Reeves is really good in this role as John Wick. He doesn't have to act too hard. He can just be a very subtle man who wants to get revenge for what these men did to him. And I talked about this movie a couple months before, and I mentioned the action in this movie, and it is so well filmed. My goodness, this is some of the best action I've ever seen in a movie like this. Just every single shot from John Wick is a headshot, and it's so badass and so great, and I just loved it. And I also liked how it's rated R, because I feel like every action movie should be rated R, except for James Bond. James Bond does not need to be rated R, but this movie had to be rated R, and they did a great job at filming the action and making it very gritty and realistic looking, and just overall amazing, and made my mouth drop. And the story itself, while it's a bit cliche, it does make sense. You do really feel for John Wick and this character, and Keanu Reeves really does sell the John Wick character overall, and you feel for this guy. You want him to succeed and get revenge on these gangsters. And that completely cancels out the fact that it is, of course, a revenge movie. We've seen this a billion times before, but then again, it is done in a slightly different way, and that's why I really like John Wick as well. There was also this really cool nightclub scene in this movie where John Wick is just going around shooting people in the head once again, and that's a great scene. Pretty much every single action scene in this movie is really well done and just overall amazing. All the villains in this movie, I really bought their roles. I really bought them as assholes in this movie, and they did a great job too. And overall, the acting in this movie for every single person was really good. And that's pretty much all John Wick really had to be, was just a great action movie with some good acting and Keanu Reeves doing his best job as possible. Really, the only problem I had with this movie was at the very end. You know, with a lot of action movies, you have that giant end fighting scene where, you know, the bad guy is fighting the good guy and, you know, all that stuff. Yeah, pretty much the only problem I had with this movie was that part where we do get to this final confrontation with John Wick and all the bad guys, and this huge action scene happens. I felt like it was not as big as it could have been, and there was not really all that much of a payoff in this movie at the end, and that was pretty much the only disappointing thing about this movie. I would have liked to have seen a bigger payoff at the end of this movie. But other than that, John Wick is a great action movie, one of my favorite movies of 2014, and I would definitely recommend checking that movie out if you have not seen it yet. Of course, checking the second one out this weekend too. I'm going to do that this weekend. And I'm going to give John Wick a 90%. Definitely watch this movie. It is a great action movie, and if you love action movies, you will love John Wick. And I am really excited to see John Wick Chapter 2 this weekend. It's going to be great seeing Keanu Reeves take that role on again. I hope it can be just as good, if not better, than the first one. Expect that review to come out either tomorrow or Saturday. Thank you all for watching this video, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.